What's going on, everybody? I hope you had a fantastic weekend and you're enjoying your Monday early afternoon so far. This is NYG Jeffy T 85 here, and I'm here to bring you what I want to talk about is getting ready for the New York Giants' biggest game of this entire NFL season at MetLife Stadium this Sunday against the division rival Washington Commanders in the first of two meetings in 3 weeks. But first, I want to give a special shout out to New York Giants offensive lineman Nick Gates, who today was awarded the Ed Block Courage Award after coming back from a serious leg injury where some even thought, including myself, his career might have been over. And not only did he find a way to recover from that serious leg injury, but he's able to get back on the football field, play football, and now he's actually playing to a pretty good level, and there's a possibility he could be the New York Giants starting center for the rest of the season after the performance that he put out against the Dallas Cowboys last week, taking over for John Feliciano, who was out due to injury. So special shout out to Nick Gates after winning the Ed Block Courage Award today. Awesome job. Congratulations to you, Nick Gates. Giants fans love you. Giants fans appreciate all the hard work that you throw out there, and you absolutely 100% deserve this award that you were gotten award before. Now, getting to the main meat and potatoes of this video. The New York Giants are right now at 7-4. They're coming off a couple of very difficult losses in back-to-back games against the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. The Giants right now sit at 7-4 on the season. Right now the Giants are battling it out for one of those last few playoff spots with the Seattle Seahawks and the Washington Commanders. Right now, if the playoffs started today, the Philadelphia Eagles would be the number 1 seed. The Minnesota Vikings would be number 2. You'd have the San Francisco 49ers being the number 3 seed, and you'd have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are right now winning the worst division in football. They'd be the number 4 seed. 5 would obviously be Dallas. They have the best record amongst the wild card teams. The New York Giants will be number 6. And because of the loss yesterday to the Las Vegas Raiders, and with the Washington Commanders defeating the Atlanta Falcons, the Washington Commanders right now would be in the 7th seed, which means every single NFC East team would be in the playoffs if they started today. But as we know, we got 6 more weeks to go in this NFL season. Now, the Giants are right now a half a game ahead of the Washington Commanders. Giants 7-4, Washington 7-5. They haven't had their bye week. They're going on their bye week next week before they play the Giants again. So the Washington Commanders' next 2 games are against us. The Giants are going to be in the most pivotal part of this stretch. They've been slumping a little bit. They've been absolutely 1,000% banged up beyond belief. The Giants have not played their best football right now in these last couple of games. You could even say 3 games because they even struggled a little bit to defeat the Houston Texans. But the Giants are going into the biggest game of the NFL season for them. Nobody expected the Giants to be this good. But now the fact that they got off to a 7-2 start, expectations have to be raised. You have to. When you get off to a 7-2 start, no matter if you thought this team was not supposed to be as good as it is, you have to have higher expectations now. Because when you're 7-2, you expect to not only make the playoffs, but also compete for that division. Now it's a little bit more difficult because of the fact that Philadelphia is 10-1 on the season, and the Giants are 3 games behind Philadelphia for that division lead, and they're also at least a game and a half behind Dallas because of the fact that right now a game behind Dallas, but we lost twice to Dallas, so in a way that's another full half game or a full game, so in a way we trail Dallas by 2 games. So right now, the New York Giants are going to be taking on the Commanders first at MetLife Stadium. The Giants have to come out and find a way to win this football game. And there's some possible good news as there's supposed to be 4 or maybe more key players that are coming back from injury. Azeez Ojulari and Ben Bredeson, who have been out with injury, are expected to come off the injured reserve and rejoin the team at practice this week. Also, Daniel Bellinger, who's been out since the Jacksonville Jaguars game, as well as Evan Neal. A couple of key offensive players. Evan Neal, the right tackle, as well as Daniel Bellinger, the starting tight end, they're expected to potentially make the return against the Washington Commanders too. So you might have your full offensive line back together for the first time since that Jacksonville Jaguars game a few weeks back. So that's going to be a big boost because Joshua Ezeudu, Jack Anderson, and Shane Lemieux, they've been okay at times. But at the same time, Ben Bredeson has played the best amongst those left guards, and the running game has not been the same since Ben Bredeson has gone out with injury. The Giants could really afford to get Ben Bredeson back into the lineup and re-engage that running game with Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, Matt Breida, and Gary Brightwell. And at the same time, Evan Neal was really starting to turn the corner after a rough beginning to his rookie season. So you hope that you can get a guy like Evan Neal back at right tackle, Matt Peart, Tyree Phillips, Corey Cunningham. They're not getting the job done. Phillips has been the best of the bunch, but even he's been serviceable. Evan Neal is a big-time upgrade. Get him there. And I would roll with the offensive line of Andrew Thomas, Ben Bredeson, Nick Gates, Mark Lewinsky, and Evan Neal on the offensive line for the rest of the season if they can stay healthy. Feliciano, to me, you're benched. Gates has played better. Gates should be out there right now if he's able to go 100%. That's what I want. But the Giants need to come out in front of the MetLife Stadium crowd who's going to be loud. They're going to be raucous. It's going to be about 80, 90,000 Giants fans. Hopefully they're going to be loud, engaged, and know how big of a game this is. And if the Giants want to be taken as a serious team going to hopefully make the playoffs this year, they have to win this game. Because if they lose this game on Sunday, it could start the beginning of a free fall for the New York Giants. That'd be 3 losses in a row. We'd have to travel to Philadelphia next week to take on the Eagles. That's not going to be easy. We'd have a home game against the Eagles. That's not going to be easy. The Eagles are still one of the best teams in the NFL, if not the best team in the NFL. This game is so pivotal right now because the Giants need to start winning divisional games. One of the key points that myself and other Giants fans have said, you have to start winning your divisional games. And right now, the New York Giants are 0-2 in the division, with both losing both games to Dallas. So the Giants have a pivotal next 3 games, a next 3 pivotal stretch against the Washington Commanders at home. You have the Eagles at home, and then you have Commanders in FedEx Field. Giants have got to come out, got to play better defense overall. They're getting torched right now in the secondary. Hopefully we get Fabian Moreau back. Adoree Jackson, Xavier McKinney, they won't be back. They might return sometime in December, but you're not getting them back for this game against Washington. You probably will get them back towards maybe the Minnesota or Indianapolis game, if that. But the secondary needs to do a better job than they did last week. The pass rush needs to also help out. Kayvon Thibodeau had arguably his best game of the season, even without recording a sack against the Dallas Cowboys. He had constant pressure and constant heat against that Dallas Cowboys offensive line. And you know Thibodeau is going to have to even raise his game more, especially if the Giants get Azeez Ojulari back on the other side. It's the pass rush has got to show up against that Washington Commanders offensive line and against Taylor Heineke. That's got to be the start of it. The Giants have got to continue to also run the football, find ways to get Saquon Barkley more involved in the running game. His snaps have been decreasing a little bit. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury that is clear as day has been hampering him. But the Giants have got to get that running game going, and they've got to take some shots down the field. But overall, the Giants have got to come out poised and realize if they want to be taken seriously as a playoff-worthy team, you have to come out at your home stadium, MetLife Stadium, divisional game. We know how important these division games are. Washington right now has won 3 in a row. The Giants have lost 2 in a row. So right now, the outside seeker is going to see this and be like, well, Washington's got the clear advantage. They look like the better team right now. No, the Giants are still a good team in the NFL. They're still a team that you cannot put aside, even though they might be lacking in talent due to injuries and just because of the fact they lack in depth at certain positions and key starters. The Giants are still a team that has got to be reckoned with because of their coaching especially. Brian Daboll, Mike Kafka, Wink Martindale, and the positional coaches, Thomas McGahee, they all have to be on the top of their game going into such a major key game against the Washington Commanders. You cannot slip up, and you have to get off to an early start. One of the things that the Giants have struggled with so far this year is getting off to early starts in these games. They have not really gotten it going until the third and especially the fourth quarter. That's when they played their best football. That's not going to fly if you keep getting off to sluggish starts and these teams you play against get off to 3, 7, 10, 14-point leads. The Giants are a team that cannot afford to get behind early in these games by 2 or 3 touchdowns. Especially, they have to try to limit these teams from scoring 30 points. The Giants finally gave up 30 points to the Detroit Lions last week. And they gave them up to the Dallas Cowboys too. The Giants have got to play better on defense, and they have to make sure they limit these teams to under 30 points because the Giants' offense is not currently constructed to be able to score 30 points. They haven't done that in over 2 years since the Dallas Cowboys game in 2020 in Week 4. The Giants are not an offense right now that can operate scoring 30-plus points. They are a ground and pound, old-school football team that is going to beat you by running the football, playing great defense, key special teams play, and occasionally going the play action, the bootlegs on the outside, the read options, and occasionally taking some deep shots down the field. But the Giants are not a team that's going to beat you with high-scoring offense prowess. They're going to beat you by old-school football, and that's exactly what the Giants have to do in this game on Sunday. You have to limit Washington, who's got some explosive players on that offense. Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, De'Ami Brown, Logan Thomas, Brian Robinson. You got Antonio Gibson. You got explosive players on that Washington Commanders team. You have to try to limit them. Have to limit them from going out there and pretty much blowing this game up. Hopefully the Giants are going to be able to do that. They're going to put together a much better defensive performance than they did the past couple of weeks. And they're going to be able to go out there and prove that this team is not about to go into a downward spiral. 7-4, we're still in good position. Go out there, get the job done in front of your home fans in the biggest game of the New York Giants season this Sunday. Because if we don't win, then we would be in last place. Even at 7-5, we'd be in last place because of the fact we would have already lost to Washington too. That's what makes this game even more pivotal. 3 games in NFC East competition. Twice against Washington, once against Philadelphia. This is the biggest stretch right now. It was the biggest 4-game stretch. The Giants are 0-1 already in that 4-game stretch going against NFC East opponents. We have to beat Washington. This is the biggest game, and you need your biggest players to show up in the biggest game. This Giants players, hopefully they can go out there and they can get the job done. They need to. You have to play smart. Disciplined, smart, turnover-free football, and be opportunistic on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball. Hold up on the offensive side. Washington's getting Chase Young too. That's another defensive player on their defense. They're getting back. Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen. They've stepped their game up on that Washington defense. The defense on Washington is playing a lot better now. It's not going to be easy for Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Darius Slayton, and that Giants offense. It's not going to be easy. But the Giants, if they want to be taken seriously, have got to rise up, and they got to meet the challenge against Washington, and they got to play good, smart, turnover-free, fundamental, old-school football, Giant football. Hopefully we'll get that. This is going to be a very, very tough game. It's going to be. And anybody that says it's not, you're being delusional. This is going to be a tough game this Sunday. Washington is a team you cannot throw aside anymore. 7-5, 3-game winning streak. Heineke is playing solid ball. The wide receivers are deadly on the outside. They got a very good trio, if you want to say quartet, including De'Ami Brown. They got a solid running game, solid running back duo over there in Washington with Robinson and Gibson. Logan Thomas is solid. Their offensive line isn't bad. And they're getting Chase Young back to go on with Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, and Jonathan Allen, one of the best front fours in the NFL. Go out there, Play smart football. Play hungry football. Play loose football, but play smart football. This is the biggest game. The last game is going to be the first game in December. We actually have December football as Giants fans to look forward to for the first time since 2016. Let's make it worthwhile, and let's not start going downward. Because I know this team is not that talented. I know. The Giants are not the talented team that everybody thinks they are. But they have incredible coaching. They have resilient players on this team. And they are a team that if you don't knock them out, if you don't put them down, they will get back up and they will make you pay. Let's see if the Giants can go out there and make the Washington Commanders pay out on the football field. This Sunday, Week 13, Washington Commanders, New York Giants, NFC East, rivalry week. Go out there, play inspired football, turnover-free football, and get the job done on what is going to be the biggest game of the New York Giants 2022 NFL season. So thank you very much, everybody. If you like this video, hit the like button below. Sub up if you haven't already to NYGJeffyT85 for more breaking news, updates, and chatter surrounding the New York Giants. Turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short that's going to be dropping on the channel surrounding the New York Giants. And you let me know in the comment section if you agree with the things said in the video and what other things you're looking for the Giants to do this Sunday in what is the biggest game of the New York Giants season. So I thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your Monday. Take it easy, and as always, let's go New York Football Giants. Together blue, everyone.